great energy about me, great attitude. But, I have my down days too. I have my tough days too that everybody goes through. But I know one thing that I always have gone by, and my parents, preached to me at an early age is, anybody can quit. That's the easy thing to do. Like, anybody can just lay down and quit. It's hard to keep going.
What makes the journey worth it? The pain, the adversity, the opposition, the challenges, the uncertainty. Why do I have to go through this? What's the lesson in this? I got a paralyzed right arm and hand. The $1 million question I get every single day is, you wouldn't change what happened to you, why? Serendipity. Join us for insightful dialogues about not just successes, but about failures, opposition, adversities that shaped and molded individuals to who they are today. I'm Inky Johnson. This is Serendipity. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Serendipity with Inky Johnson. Today's guest, man, is somebody special. He's a warrior. Jamar Thomas. He's a father. He's a servant. He's an NBA player. He's an all-star. But I'm not going to hold you long. We're going to get right into it. T, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Inky. How you doing?
Man, I'm great, man. I want to say thank you for your time, man. I know you got a lot of things you could be doing, so I greatly appreciate it.
Nah, it's an honor to be able to, speak with you. So it's a no-brainer to do something like this with you.
No doubt. And so IT, man, when I first started this platform, the reason I started it is because, I firmly believe adversity and opposition, can be an incredible tool, right? If we use it, right? If we acquire the right perspective about the things that we go through. And I'm drawn to you, man, because we're similar. We're both, right, undersized athletes. We both play with a lot of heart, a lot of courage. And I love watching you compete. And so I was watching something today just about you, your recovery and the process. And you just said adversity is a part of who I am. That's a way of life for me. How long have you had that type of mindset and perspective?
I think since I was a little boy. I mean, it's just, life has always been adversity. It's always been how you can keep going,
Absolutely.
Through the tough times. And I feel like I've had not just tough times in my, playing career, but ultimately tough times in my life that I was able to figure out ways to, push through, ways to keep going. And I think, one of your biggest motivational speaking things was, it was a Martin Luther King quote. You don't judge nobody, in comfort and convenience. You judge them, when you're going through some stuff. And I think that just hits everybody the same way because it's real life. It's not scripted. Mm-hmm. You can't, you can only figure those things out when it happens to you. And I think that's just been my life. And I've been able to use adversity in my life to help with adversity throughout my career. And, it's I always say, it's, I'm human. So I got real feelings. It might always seem great. And I have a great, great energy about me, great attitude. But, I have my down days too. I have my tough days too that everybody goes through. But I know one thing that I always have gone by, and my parents, preached to me at an early age is, anybody can quit. That's the easy thing to do. Anybody can just lay down and quit. It's hard to keep going, especially when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel or you don't know what's next. So, that's just been the way of my life. And I've been able to, take those situations and try to turn them into positives, no matter what it may be, whether it be basketball, whether it be, family situation, whether it be, real life things that go on in, everybody's every day of life. So, it's easier said than done, but, I just try to continue to push through, the best way I can and, ultimately lean on God, first and foremost. And that's what allows me to push through, with what seems to be the toughest times of my life.
Absolutely. One of the things, man, that I love seeing, when you're working out and when you're doing your thing is that poster on the wall. It's a lot of pictures, but that one that say, draft me last again, right? Something to that extent. Like, can you take me to that moment, IT, like the draft and how that manifested and what you felt like when that transpired?
So the draft, June 23rd, 2011, it was, something I always dreamed of. It didn't matter if I was going to be selected the first pick or the last pick. It was just a dream of mine to hear my name called. Obviously, I was upset. Like, nobody wants to, have to wait the whole draft to hear their name called. But like I said earlier, I try to take the positives out of each situation. Like, everybody doesn't get their name called. Like, everybody, a lot of young kids, especially African-Americans, dreams are to be a professional athlete. Mm-hmm. So, I was able to be blessed to be able to, get my name called, hear my name, even though it was the last pick. But, to be totally honest, that was the longest day of my life, one of the longest days of my life. And it was, again, one of those situations where, throughout the draft, when names kept getting called, I'm like, man, was this the right decision? And I remember my mom calling me, towards the end of the draft, and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I am what I am right now. I don't know how to feel, but she like, just remember, God always said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And, and that was 2 picks before my name was called. When she called me, wow, checked on me and told me that. So I'm like, I'm listening, I'm hearing her out, but I'm still like, man, like, I might not get drafted. And then my name was called, and then I forgot about how long the day was. I forgot about the wait. I forgot about everything else just because that's been a dream of mine since I was a little boy. And it really happened. And I always told people, I just need a chance. I just need my foot in the door. I'll do the rest. I don't need no handouts. I just need a chance. And, the Sacramento Kings chose me with the last pick. They gave me a chance and I took it and ran with it. And, that's ultimately, how my life has been, picked last, overlooked, doubted. And I just been able to overcome all those obstacles and rise to the top. And I think the biggest thing for me is, knowing it's bigger than just me. It's inspiring, the kids under me, the next generation to not give up when times get hard. Absolutely. Because it's, it's easy to be the man when everything is going great and, you're on top and everybody's loving you. Mm-hmm. But it'd be the same people that was loving you at one point. And when you hit some adversity, they tend to switch on you. And you got to just, you just got to find, that middle balance of having the right crowd around you and knowing who's really for you and who's not. And, this whole time has been a learning experience. This would be, when I get picked up from a team, this would be my 10th year in the NBA. So it's like, out of those 10 years, 1 year has been a time where I was just comfortable, where I knew, this is my team. I got a big opportunity to take advantage of, and I'm going to do it. So 1 out of these 10 years was where I was able to sit back and, look at everything and be like, okay, I'm here. Everything else has been paranoia. I'm staying paranoid, trying to figure out what's next and trying to, be steps ahead of what can possibly be next.
Like, what's incredible, man, is like when I hear you speak and even talk about life or your career, it's like even when something happens, like you said, you're wired to look at situations a certain type of way, which I feel as if like a lot of people can't think that way. And like you said, it's cool. But it's almost like your solution focus as soon as the opposition, as soon as the adversity happens. And like you said, going last pick to coming up on 10 years, that's incredible. Like a lot of people can't do that. I always say to people, like when you meet somebody, I remember being a kid and thinking like when I would meet somebody, I'm like, man, like he probably always wanted to be an NBA player, always played this way. And I tell kids now, one of the common mistakes we make is thinking where we meet people is where they've always been. And we forget about the process, the sacrifice, the hurt, the pain that it takes to get to that point. And so I'll never forget, man, looking at you, watching you ball, watching you do your thing. And I'll never forget hearing you say 2017, right? You said that was the best year of your career, but probably in life, that's probably one of the toughest years, because quite naturally what happened to your sister, like how did you navigate and try to balance that, dealing with that level of adversity?
For me, you know, first and foremost, I leaned on God, because I never been through a situation with somebody that close to me as my little sister being taken away, you know, out of nowhere. So like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know which way to feel, because it hit, you know, that was home right there. So I think for me, basketball has always been that scapegoat for me. When I do go through tough times, I'm able to go to the gym, you know, get those things off my mind for the matter of time I'm at the gym working. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was able to do. I used basketball to be able to take my mind away from the toughest, you know, obstacle I had to face, of not having my little sister here no more. Mm-hmm. And also having the right people around me to help me through that situation. You know, I still deal with that daily. Like that's not going to go anywhere. But during that time, basketball was kind of the only thing that helped me, you know, get past it a little bit. Right on. And I, you know, I can't thank my support system enough. I can't thank God enough. I can't thank, you know, everybody who just had a helping hand in that, you know, tragic situation. But again, it goes back to not quitting. I know my little sister she'd be like, man, you better play. Like, and you better go kill them boys. Like, and that's just what it's always been. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I try to use basketball to help me get through that, but I also really leaned on, you know, my wife first and foremost, my kids, which really didn't know what was going on 3 or 4 years ago. And then, you know, my support system in my circle. And I was able to, you know, do some incredible things at that time. But that, you know, that was all God. That was all God. To this day, like me being able to have a positive outlook on things when knowing something so close to my heart was taken, that daily. But again, I think the easy thing to do would be to, you know, give up and bow down. Like, I got to find a way to keep going. And that's what I always tried to figure out. No matter, you know, what I was going through, I had to figure out a way to keep going, not just for myself, because it's bigger than me. Like I said, it's for the guys, you know, the little kids in the inner city looking up to me that don't have no outlet, you know, that can't find ways to be successful. Like, there's a way, you know, and I'm trying to give that to the people that are looking up to me, because I think that's most important.
That's incredible, man. Bro, I'll never forget, like, when we watched that, you know, and how you processed that. You know, I think it inspired the world and lead me up to this point, watching you again fight through something that's inspiring the world. Like, my mom just had double hip surgery, you know, and I watched her with that process of just trying to shake back and going through it. And I would go to rehab with her some days. And then you had hip surgery, I think last May, right, of 2020. And you've been in the process of working through that, man, to shake back, to get back better than ever. Like, how has that process been for you, Atik?
It's been better because, you know, I've been hurt. I was hurt for basically like 2 or 3 years, where, you know, I was trying to figure out ways to get healthy without doing a procedure. And, you know, I weighed every option. I went every obstacle I possibly could till I had to do it. And, you know, I think that was one of the best decisions of my life, to get that done, to get fixed, to be finally healthy. It's like gave me an open mind to life again and made basketball fun again for me. Not saying I took basketball for granted, because I never have, not one day in my life. But at one point when I was fighting through my injury, basketball was not fun for me anymore. Like, you know, growing up.
Absolutely. Because
I never ever dealt with a major injury. And I always go back to, you know, your motivational videos about the process. And I tell kids to this day, no matter what your process is, you can't skip it. So learn to enjoy it. Like, and I had to find ways to enjoy that process of rehab 6 days a week, 7:30 a.m. every day. Like I had to find ways, because if I didn't mentally, it would have cooked me. It would have mentally just brought me down. And I'm in a great place mentally right now to where, and ultimately it's because I'm healthy. I'm finally pain free. And then like I keep saying, I got the right support system around me, you know? So those things allowed me not to look further than the process. Absolutely. Enjoy what I'm doing right now, because I know when the time comes and I do get my opportunity, I'm gonna look back at these days and be like, and laugh about it, just because, knowing like there's better days ahead. And, you know, I'm big on the process and just not being able to skip that. Because, you know, like you said just a minute ago, people see the right now. Like when it comes to success, they see when you're at the top of your success. Yep. They don't see what got you there, especially the next generation. You know, they see all the money and the cool things that, you know, attract that, but they don't see the work every day. They don't see the 6 a.m. alarm clock being set. They don't see the 2 or 3 a day workouts per day. They don't see that. So if you enjoy that process, the ending is that's easy.
Great.
You know, the success part and seeing it and visualizing it before it happens. And when it does happen, you're just on to the next. And that's how I always been. Even at my peak, you know, when I was healthy a few years ago and I was at the top of the top, I was always on to the next. I was like, this is dope, but I gotta get more.
No doubt.
I gotta get and that's when that paranoia came in, like, okay, I'm not comfortable. And you know, when you get comfortable in situations, that's when things start to pass you.
Yeah.
And you know, I just try to stay even keeled and try to stay, you know, uncomfortable as possible, and just knowing the process, you can't skip it no matter what. So you got to get through it.
No doubt. No doubt. Like cats always ask me, like cats come up and say, man, would you change what happened to you? Right. Just talking about my injury, because a lot of people can't understand or fathom why I wouldn't change it. Right. They look at me, they say, man, you got a paralyzed arm. Right. You lost what would have been an NFL career possibly. Why wouldn't you change that? And when I start to explain to them, like, I don't think I will be the man that I am, the servant, the husband, the father. Like, I think all of that opposition and adversity, like, it shaped and molded me into the individual I am, like the way I live my life, the perspective and the lens that I see my life through. And so I want to pose the same question to you, like the process that you've been through up until this point, like, would you change any of it?
No. And I get that same question. I think at the beginning, when I'm in it, I you know, why me? Obviously, at the beginning, those are the thoughts. As anybody would have those thoughts. It's like, why me? But when I'm in it and I'm getting through it and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's like this only built more of who I am. Like this is just a chapter in the story. This has already been written. Like God has already, you know, figured that part out. So I can't skip no process. Like it is what it is.
No doubt.
I'm not saying why me no more. It's like, okay, I'm fine with it being me. I'm fine with it being me because I can inspire so many others that are dealing with situations like this or even worse. Then maybe they look at my story and they're like, I can't quit. I just can't. And I think that's what helps me get through these tough times, is knowing somebody is looking at me. Not just somebody, you know, I got 3 kids. I got 2 little boys. And them boys look at everything I do. And I tell them, you know, there's days I don't want to get up and work out.
No doubt.
But I gotta get it in. You know, and you know, it's just all a part of the story. And I tell people that to this day. It's just, they say, how are you so positive? It's like, because I'm blessed. I got healthy kids. I'm healthy. My wife's healthy. My family's healthy. And a basketball is really giving me so much to be happy for. And the story's not over. You know, you could be counted out, but I know deep down, like there's so much more to give. And it's not just about putting a basketball in the hoop. It became bigger than that. And I feel like it became bigger than that when I had to slow down from the injury, when I had to really sit back and analyze everything. Like, this ain't about me anymore. This ain't about me anymore. And I think that's when I realized I got to keep going. I got to keep going. You know, when my sister passed, I think that was one of the first times, and people always say I'm crazy for thinking this, but that was one of the first times I felt like the world was really watching.
Wow.
Like, and I was able to help people through their tough times by me being able to somehow display some type of strength to get through that when the whole world was watching.
Yeah.
You know, that wasn't me. That was God. That wasn't me. I can't even take credit for that. Like, that was God, and that's God till this day. So, you know, the easy thing for me to do is to keep going, to keep grinding, keep working, and waiting on the opportunity. And I know when the opportunity comes, I'm gonna take it and run with it.
That's strong, man. Like, I firmly believe when things show up that we can't control, like, I firmly believe it's there to teach us something, right? It's some lesson that is trying to press upon us that we can add to our toolkit to become better people, right? Because if it showed up and we didn't warrant it or self-inflicted, like, it's there to teach us something to make us a better individual. And so for young athletes, for people in general, as I get ready to take us out, IT, like, with the climate of the world, right? People are facing different levels of opposition, challenges. The world is up against something that we've never seen before, right? Like, is there something that you live by or some words that you would just give to people, man, that's along the journey trying to fight and trying to scrap? Because you got that warrior mentality.
I think, you know, I mean, it's on my chest, slow grind.
Yeah.
You know, I think life is a real slow grind. Like, no matter if you are an athlete, you know, no matter what walk of life, you're not going to be able to skip steps to get to where you want. Yeah. So enjoy the process of getting there. I think one of the biggest things you said, if somebody's sacrificing something, it'd be a cold day in hell before you take that away from them.
No doubt.
And I think that comes with the no quit attitude, the sacrifice, the determination, the dedication, all of that in one. I mean, nobody's taking this from me. Like, nobody's doing that because of that sacrifice and because of the slow grind. You know, that's a way of life. That's a way of life. And, you know, the only thing I know is to keep going. And that's what I'm gonna do to inspire the next generation. And, you know, I think that's what it's really about. You know, because it ain't all peaches and cream. And we all know that.
Absolutely.
Whether you're an athlete or any walk of life, you know, life is hard. And I'm a true believer in, you know, staying on your marathon and keep running your race.
That's real, man. Y'all heard the man. Keep going, stay locked into that marathon and keep running your race. IT, man, I want to say thank you for your time, bro. I greatly appreciate it. Blessings to you and your family, and keep pressing, my brother.
You already know. I appreciate the love and support, man. And thank you for having me on your platform.
No doubt. Blessings, my brother.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.